Love after 60. Older men find this irresistible, and most women never do it. Expert revealed. Welcome to Wise Life After 60. So grateful to have you here. They say men fall for beauty, but that's never been the truth. What captures a man's soul isn't the way you look, it's the way you make him feel in your silence. The kind of woman who doesn't chase, doesn't perform, but holds herself with a calm that makes the whole room slow down. In today's video, we're exploring something rarely spoken yet deeply felt. The quiet power that makes a man find a woman truly irresistible. Before we begin, tap that like button and subscribe to Wise Life After 60, where every week we explore the wisdom that grows more luminous with time. Reflections that help us love deeper, live calmer, and understand the human heart through the lens of age and awareness. 1. The magnetic language of slowness. There is something magnetic about a woman who moves slowly. Not because she's cautious, but because she's sure. In a world that rushes, she takes her time. She understands that real intimacy, emotional or physical, begins in stillness, not in speed. When you slow down, you invite connection. You create space for feeling, for breathing, for curiosity. You let the moment reveal its depth, instead of chasing it away. Psychologists have long studied the power of pacing. In relationships, those who rush through connection often confuse excitement with chemistry. But slowness, attentive, conscious slowness, signals security. It says, I am here. I am not afraid of silence. I don't need to fill the space to be worthy of it. That energy is what men remember. It tells them you are not seeking validation, you are sharing presence. Think of the way grace feels in motion. The soft turn of the head, the gentle lowering of the eyes, the unhurried gestures that seem to flow with time instead of against it. These are not techniques. They are reflections of inner peace. The woman who moves with calm teaches others to slow down too. Her rhythm becomes the rhythm of the room. So the next time you feel the urge to hurry, to fill the pauses with words or gestures, stop, breathe, let your calm lead the room. Because the woman who slows down teaches the world to follow her rhythm. Next, let's move into the next lesson. One that has little to do with what you say and everything to do with what you see. The psychology of eye contact and emotional synchrony. 2. The energy of presence. In every era, philosophers and poets have written about presence, that invisible quality that makes another person feel seen, valued, and safe in your company. Presence isn't about being perfect, it's about being fully there. It's about listening with your whole body, eyes soft, posture open, mind unguarded. When a man meets a woman who embodies this energy, something inside him relaxes. It's not excitement or lust, it's recognition. It's the sense that he's in the company of someone real, someone whose calm doesn't need to prove itself. That's why presence is so magnetic. It signals self-trust, and self-trust is the rarest form of beauty. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." The same is true for your presence. When your inner world is peaceful, it radiates outward, through your gestures, your tone, even the way you breathe. People can feel it before you ever speak. Presence isn't just about attraction, it's about communication without words. A calm smile, a patient pause, a grounded silence. These are gestures of maturity, not submission. They tell others you are comfortable in your own timing, your own truth. If this resonates with you so far, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Wise Life After 60. This channel is a space for reflection, not rush, where we slow down and rediscover the quiet intelligence of the heart. Because in truth, the most irresistible energy you can bring into any connection is the one that says, I am not here to impress, I am here to be. 3. The Art of Unspoken Connection. A few years ago, a retired music teacher named Margaret shared a story that has stayed with me. After her husband passed away, she found herself surrounded by a silence she didn't know how to live with. The house felt too large, the evenings too long, and the quiet, once a comfort, had become almost unbearable. So, to fill the empty hours, she joined a small art class at the local community center. There was a widower there named Thomas. He was tall, soft-spoken, the kind of man who seemed to carry his own weather, gentle, steady, slightly melancholic. Every Thursday, he would arrive a few minutes early, set up his easel, and tune his small radio to a classical station. When the others chatted about travel or grandchildren, he stayed quiet, content to mix colors and listen. Margaret noticed that he painted slowly, as if time itself had slowed around him. He didn't rush the brush, he waited for the paint to dry before adding more. At first, she thought it was loneliness, disguised as concentration. Later, she realized it was presence, the kind that expects nothing and therefore invites everything. Weeks passed. They exchanged polite greetings, then gentle smiles, then moments of shared silence. There was no flirting, no performance, no need to fill the space with words. Just the occasional sound of brushes moving across canvas and the faint hum of violins from his radio. And yet, something invisible was taking shape between them, like a melody only two hearts could hear. One evening, after class had ended and the others had left, Margaret lingered as Thomas cleaned his brushes. The golden light from the window fell across his face, and she said softly, "You always look so peaceful when you paint." He smiled, a quiet, knowing smile, and replied, "It's easier when the silence feels safe." Then, after a pause, he added, "You have the kind of silence that feels like home." That single sentence changed something inside her. It wasn't romantic in the usual sense. It was human, tender, sacred. For the first time in years, she felt seen, not for what she could say, but for what she carried quietly within herself. Their friendship deepened not through words, but through presence. They started sitting beside each other in class, sharing thermoses of tea during breaks, occasionally laughing at small mistakes on the canvas. When they walked to the bus stop afterwards, they often said nothing. And yet, those silences spoke volumes. That's the secret most people overlook. Attraction is not about noise, but resonance. It isn't the number of things you say, it's the emotional space you create when you say nothing at all. The body language of real connection is not a performance.
It's an alignment of energy, a tilt of the head that says, I see you, a calm posture that says, I'm not here to impress you, and the smile that lingers because it has nowhere else to go. The philosopher Soren Kierkegaard once wrote that purity of heart is to will one thing. When your presence aligns with your truth, when your gestures, tone, and heart move in harmony, others sense it instinctively. They relax around you. They stop pretending. And in that shared stillness, something extraordinary happens. Two people begin to be together, not as performers, but as souls. That's what Margaret and Thomas discovered, that love, in its mature form, is less about spark and more about synchrony. It's what Jung might have called communion between two individuated selves, a meeting not of masks, but of essences. Real connection begins in that space where silence no longer feels empty, but alive.
4. The wisdom of letting others come to you. We live in a world that rewards pursuit. Chase success. Chase happiness. Chase love. Yet every wise teacher, from the Stoics to modern philosophers like Carl Jung, has reminded us that what is meant for us cannot be forced, only allowed. When you learn to let others come to you, you embody a strength few people understand. It doesn't mean arrogance or playing games. It means you trust the natural rhythm of connection. You no longer rush to fill the silence, to prove your worth, to chase validation. You understand that your energy is valuable, and that not everyone deserves access to it. This principle shows up in body language too. When someone leans back instead of forward, maintains soft eye contact without demanding it, or pauses before responding, they communicate self-possession. This calm confidence draws people in without effort, because it offers space for curiosity. True magnetism is about space, not force. As philosopher Sakrina wrote, when you let go of what you are, you become what you might be. The same is true for attraction. When you stop performing, you allow your authentic self to emerge. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt that kind of quiet connection with someone? The one that didn't need words, only understanding? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might be the gentle reminder someone else needs today. 5. The quiet power of grace. There's an old Italian tale about a woman named Lucia, who was once the belle of her town. In her youth, she turned heads wherever she went. Her laughter was music, her beauty effortless. People would stop to watch her walk through the marketplace, her dress brushing the cobblestones, her eyes alive with the thrill of being seen. But time, as it always does, began to soften her edges. Seasons passed, and so did the crowds that once praised her. Her reflection changed, her life slowed. She stopped chasing mirrors and started tending her garden. Years later, a traveler passing through her village saw her sitting by the olive trees at dusk, a small candle flickering beside her book. The air smelled of rosemary and rain. She didn't notice him,
She was lost in thought, turning a page slowly, as if savoring every word. The traveler stood there for a moment, unable to move, feeling something he couldn't name. Later, when asked what had caught his attention, he said, "I have never seen such beauty in all my years, not in her face, but in her stillness." That is the quiet power of grace, an elegance that time cannot touch. It's the kind of beauty that doesn't need to announce itself. It simply arrives, and the world softens around it. Grace is the art of moving without hurry, of speaking without noise, of being entirely yourself without needing permission. It's what remains after you've let go of everything that isn't essential. When a woman moves with grace, every gesture, how she sits, how she listens, how she holds a gaze, becomes poetry without pretense. Her stillness is not absence, it's presence. It's the quiet assurance of someone who no longer measures her worth by how others see her. She has nothing to prove, and that freedom is magnetic. Philosophers have long believed that grace is a reflection of the inner life. Seneca once wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." The same is true for women. Grace is the proof that you have lived, that you have faced storms and loss, disappointment and change, and yet you have chosen gentleness over bitterness. It's easy to be beautiful when the world applauds you. It's something else entirely to be radiant when the world has forgotten you. That kind of radiance comes not from effort, but from peace. From having looked into the mirror of your own soul and found acceptance staring back. The truth is, grace cannot be performed. It's something you grow into when you stop fighting life. As we age, we discover that the essence of attraction changes. What once relied on energy now depends on depth. What once sought attention now seeks understanding. True magnetism at any age is the quiet confidence of someone who has walked through her own darkness and learned how to carry light. So, if you ever doubt your beauty, remember Lucia by the olive trees, her candle, her stillness, her peace. The world may not always see you, but when it does, it will feel your presence long after you've gone. Because that's what real grace is. A kind of light that lingers even in silence.
As we close today's reflection, remember this: body language is not about technique, it's about truth. The hands, the eyes, the posture, the silence, they all speak the story your soul is telling. When that story is peaceful, it becomes magnetic. When it's authentic, it becomes unforgettable. So carry yourself not with effort, but with ease. Let your gestures be grounded, your voice steady, your presence kind. Because in the end, attraction is not a strategy, it's a frequency. If this message has stirred something within you, take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes that wisdom only deepens with age. Thank you for sharing this moment of reflection with me. Until next time, keep your heart calm, your breath steady, and your spirit luminous.